Captain's Log, Stardate 8102.6. The Federation discovered an unknown planet at the edges of the galaxy. They've ordered the Enterprise to check it out.
Life readings are confused, sir. I can't decipher them.
There is something else, Captain. I'm getting a reading of some kind of power from that building.
Well now, what's this?
It's a walking plant. It can pull its roots up, toddle across the ground similar to how an octopus moves, and then stick the roots back into the soil.
They're all over the place. I think it likes me.
We always encourage our officers to make friends with the natives.
Captain, the power reading now includes an electronic probe. We are being scanned.
Phasers on stun. Stay alert. Mr. Sulu, stay here.
Oh!
Serves you right. Didn't your captain ever tell you not to handle strange objects until you verify that they're safe?
Must have been a thorn.
If it was a thorn with an attitude, because by the time the others get back...
He's been poisoned. Unknown toxin.
Can you help him?
I can't get a correlation with any known poison.
Maybe the ship's medical computers.
He's got about 1 minute to live unless I can find an answer. Maybe dilivine. No good. Takes too much time to work. If it does work.
Maybe a stronger shot.
That won't be necessary.
Who are you?
I am called Agmar. I believe we can help.
He hits Sulu with some kind of fast-acting antidote. Dr. McCoy is impressed.
Our science doesn't have anything that works that fast. Yours must be incredible.
Our science doesn't have that because our science doesn't have to deal with venomous walking koosh balls. They call their planet Phylos.
Where are the rest of your people?
Come, I will show you. Our people.
Nerve tissue, mass density is exceptionally high. Readings indicate the beings used almost 70% of their brains. A very high ratio.
We have to forgive the show for that. When it was made, we were still operating under the myth that humans only use 10% of their brain. Now, parts of the brain from over here to down there and every which way in between control all the things that we do and think. So, does that mean we only use 10% of this piece over here and 10% of this piece over there and the job gets done anyway? Or does it mean that 90% of the gray matter is just filler to keep your head from imploding? It was a ridiculous idea from start to finish, but it sounded scientific, so everybody grabbed onto it. Back in the day, I was just as guilty of that as anybody else. The real question is, are they alive? Are they grown tissue? What are they? Agmar will never get around to telling us.
Your ancestors.
No, only the generation before us.
Then, what happened?
A human came. He brought sickness and death. But he also worked to save us from his disease.
There are evidences of gram-positive bacteria. It's carried by humanoids without ill effect, but Staphylococcus strains don't seem to be native to this planet.
Earth-based bacteria aren't native to this planet. I wonder how many years he went to school to learn that.
Plant life, Captain. Primitive and aggressive.
They won't work on any settings, sir.
There is a weapons deactivator in effect here. Your destructive machines will have no effect.
When they're on stun, they aren't destructive. The goal is to be annoying enough that these things will go away. But despite what Spock said about them, they seem to have a clear agenda.
What do you think they'll do with us, sir?
Something tells me we've just been used as a diversionary tactic. Look.
grabbing Spock was the plan all along. Why?
I'm sorry, Captain Kirk, but there was no other way.
What are you talking about? Where have they taken Spock?
He has been chosen to serve a greater cause. The Master has searched many years to find a specimen like Spock. And now, all the worlds of the galaxy will share in the beauty of peace and harmony.
That's nice, but it doesn't answer my question. If their master wants peace and harmony, but he starts by kidnapping someone against their will, maybe they need to have a roundtable discussion about how exactly peace and harmony are achieved.
So help me if you don't tell me where Spock has been taken.
The Master!
Praise to the Master!
Praise
The
to
Master, our Savior!
Savior, our Master!
Another plant?
No, definitely human, Jim.
I am Dr. Stavros Caniclius V. Welcome to Philos, Captain Kirk.
Where is Spock?
He is mine. The essence of him is mine. Return to your ship. Here is your communicator.
He reinforces the command with those flying boingy dragons. Kirk has no choice since their phasers don't work.
Captain's log, stardate 5554.8. We have come upon one of the most fascinating discoveries we have ever seen. Plant life of extraordinary intelligence and technology. However, they have captured Mr. Spock, apparently under the orders of a human named Caniculus. Lieutenant Uhura is trying to locate any reference to such a man in order to unravel the mystery of this giant human.
What she finds only deepens the mystery.
Stavros Caniclius, Earth scientist, period, eugenics wars, plan to clone perfect specimen prototype into master race, concept considered anti-humanistic, banned from community, disappeared, no evidence of death, no further data.
If he's been hiding out here since the eugenic wars, that covers about 250 years. But he said he was Caniculus 5, and he does have a cloning machine. That would be how he stayed alive. And now he wants to somehow use Spock to bring peace to the galaxy. Talk about a cure for which there is no known disease.
That a man could take a few cells from his body and reproduce himself from them time after time. But that seems to be exactly what we're dealing with in the giant human Caniculus.
I hope these things work.
Well, the equipment's guaranteed, but I have my doubts about the stuff inside. A strange way to handle aliens.
These are strange aliens we're fighting.
They keep hinting about a special gadget with a special something in it. Apparently, somebody thinks they were subtle enough that we viewers wouldn't think of the term weed killer.
Scotty, as soon as we beam down, I want you to leave orbit. If they think we've gone, they won't be scanning the surface. Give us 30 minutes.
Aye, sir, but I don't like it.
Neither do I, but it appears to be necessary.
It's not the first time Scotty has had to do this, but I'm sure every time he does, it feels like he's leaving his pancreas or some other vital organ behind. Sure enough, there are no signs that they're being scanned. The Philosians don't know they're here. A huge building houses row upon row of spaceships, but they're all covered in vines and such and don't appear to be functional.
Agmar, we don't want to hurt you, but we must have Spock back.
I do not think that is possible. The Vulcan-human blend of wisdom, sense of order, durability, and strength is the finest the Master has ever found. We are pleased Spock will carry on our work.
Whether he wants to or not. If kidnapping and destroying a man's life is something your work requires, find a different work. Yours sucks. What exactly is your so-called work?
We are the last of a dying people, Captain. Once we had a great mission. Then disease decimated us. We few are the frail remnant of what survived. Our spore cells have been destroyed. There will be no more of our kind.
What if something happens to Spock or the Master?
There will always be a Master. But come, you are worried about your friend. I will show you he is safe and in good hands.
If he was really safe, he'd be walking around making his own decisions.
He's dying. Something's happened to his brain. Electrical activity decreasing.
It's too late, Captain Kirk. In a few minutes, your friend will be gone. But as Caniclius 1 lives on in each of his clones, so will Mr. Spock. Behold, gentlemen, the dawning of a new era. The salvation of a galaxy. Spock 2.
He makes his clones in the giant economy size so they're more affordable. But if this clone has Spock's mind, that can be both an asset and a liability.
Get ready.
Captain, I'm out. The chemical sprayer is empty.
Mine too, Jim.
Wait. Listen.
Maybe they're waiting for the mist to clear. Well, how about that? Great-granddaddy's weed spray still works.
Doing stuff with chemicals produces predictable results. Amazing.
Spock, what is the logic in letting a man die for the sake of creating his duplicate? Explain it to me, sir. Explain it to me.
This is something Caniclius didn't count on. If he had taken a little time to get to know Spock a little better, he would have known it would happen. On the Enterprise, they're getting creative to send a subspace signal through all the shielding this place has. Scott has had Uhura route power from everything except life support to produce a tight, narrow beam of incredible power. Because of the strain on the dilithium crystals that such a maneuver will produce, they can only maintain it for a few seconds.
Vulcans do not condone the meaningless death of any being. Spock's death is meaningless, if it is only to create a giant version of himself.
It is not just a duplicate. He will be the beginning of a master race.
That's our ship calling, Spock. You answer them.
There's that good old master race stuff again. Is he still fighting the eugenic wars? I want to make an announcement especially to him, but he's a scientist, so I'll try to put it in precise technical language. There ain't no master race. Everybody's good at something, and it requires all of us to get it all done. He thinks because he knows how to clone himself and he's bigger than everybody else, he's the superior one who has to tell the rest of the galaxy what to do because they're inferior. Somehow, Spock is the key to him doing that. But Spock would be the first to tell him the same thing. There ain't no superior race. Except maybe Vulcans.
Commander Spock here.
Oh, thank heaven. Mr. Spock, tell the captain I've located more information about Caniclius. I had the library computer check out all known writings by Caniclius. They are obscure, but there is a recurring theme in his later essays about using his master race as a peacekeeping force throughout the galaxy. That was why Caniclius wanted a perfect specimen.
A few decades later, Farscape took this idea and ran with it until the so-called peacekeepers were the oppressors. If you haven't seen the series, I highly recommend it. But Captain Kirk finally understands what's going on here.
All this has been a waste, Caniclius. There has been peace in the Federation for over 100 years.
That is a lie. What about the eugenics wars? The galactic wars? What of the depredations of the Romulans, the Klingons, and the Kazinti? An army of Spock duplicates is necessary to subdue them.
Peace through war and subjugation isn't peace. It's temporary intimidation. Emphasis on temporary because sooner or later the subjugated won't take it anymore and you're right back where you started. We learned that the Philosians were getting ready to do the same thing when Caniclius showed up with his streptococci and wiped them out. That's why they threw in their lot with Caniclius. He was going to do what they no longer could.
We already have peace in the Federation. It wasn't imposed. It was agreed upon. You have no need of Spock. Reverse the effects of that machine and let us take him.
No, the mold must be broken.
You're not listening, dude. It already has been, and without your help. I think that's the real sticking point here. He didn't get any glory.
Jim, Spock's almost gone.
If you have Spock's mind, you'll know the Vulcan symbol called the Idic.
Infinite diversity in infinite combinations, symbolizing the elements that create truth and beauty.
Could an army of Spocks impose peace and Philosian philosophy on any other beings in defiance of the Idic concept?
I do not believe so.
Translation: even if he creates his army of Spocks, they won't succeed. People don't like being imposed upon. It makes them push back. And if you persist, guess what? You've got another war on your hands. The scientific term for that is fail. They've been trying to talk Caniculus into reversing the machine, but Spock is tired of waiting.
My mind to your mind, my thoughts to your thoughts.
The Vulcan mind touch.
In the show, I only heard it called a mind meld, but I see no reason to be picky.
I am pleasantly surprised at your capacity for deductive reasoning, Captain. When you are not being bellicose, there appears to be no end to your arsenal of formidable talents.
And if he understood what you said, he'd say thank you.
And you needn't worry, Captain Kirk, about a master race. There will be no militia, no other Spocks.
But what of my work? If all I have lived for is already done, if the times I feared are gone, what is to become of me? There appears to be no reason why I should continue to exist.
That question haunted me throughout my Bible scholar years. Here's what happens. Someone goes to school and gets a PhD. The total focus of a PhD is to write a dissertation that presents new knowledge or a way of seeing old knowledge in a new way. The thing is, you will live, breathe, eat, and sleep that dissertation for anywhere from 2 years to 20. And when it's done and you have the degree, you'll look for a job based on what you came up with in that dissertation. Then you spend decades teaching in an obscure seminary somewhere until the next guy comes along, writes a dissertation on the same topic, and blows yours to pieces. Basically, everything you based your career on could be wrong. What happens? In most cases, the new guy can't find a job. The old fogies are so locked into their ideas, as well as their jobs, the only way a position comes open, I have experienced this personally, is if somebody dies. This is why so much scholarship, especially in fields like linguistics and application to specific languages, moves slower than any glacier you could name. What do you mean, change my view to fit the new information? I spent 50 years doing this. You want to tell me it was all for nothing? And I can understand the attitude. But then the question becomes, what's more important, finding truth or protecting your ego? Caniculus has the same conundrum. But we have to ask, is this all you know how to do? Are you incapable of learning to do something else? If so, then you may be right. Your continued existence is a problem. But I have a feeling your brain is a little more flexible than that.
I would suggest Dr. Caniculus remain on Phylos with my duplicate. The concerted efforts of both scientists may yet achieve a rebirth of the Philosian civilization and enable them to contribute to the Federation. My thoughts exactly, Mr. Spock. So one might assume, Mr. Spock.
How does that sound to you, Caniculus? To bring life is at least as important as bringing peace.
I would be honored, if I will be allowed.
I'll report your work here. I think the Federation will understand.
On top of that, he'll have all the vast resources of the United Federation of Planets to help with equipment, personnel, and knowledge. He doesn't have to do it alone. Granted, he has Big Spock, but you know what I mean.
By the way, Mr. Sulu, any chance of teaching me that body throw? Could come in handy sometime.
I don't know, sir. It isn't just physical, you know. You have to be inscrutable.
Inscrutable? Sulu, you're the most scrutable man I know.
I have never tried to screw either one of them, so I couldn't say. Walter Koenig wrote this episode, and I don't doubt he had a ball doing it. Even though he was too busy to be on the show, he had intimate knowledge of the characters in the ship, so everything he came up with is easily believable. A leftover from the eugenic wars has had enough of an untamed galaxy, and unlike most people, has decided to do something about it. The Phylosians had the same idea, but when they tried to team up, it was disastrous. But now, as I said, he's been brought up to speed, he has a goal and a purpose, and the Federation is with him. To get to that point, he had to realize that life had truly passed him by, and everything he knew was useless. I personally hope that one of the first resources the Federation sends him is a therapist. Okay, Scotty, 2 to beam up. Is something your work require. That's hard to say.